full now, and you've gotten warm, so I'll try to put you to sleep as quickly as I can, okay? Young women on this stage right now are members of our 1991 State Cheerleading Championship team. And we're very proud of what we accomplished. For those of you that have been in the gym and seen all the wonderful pennants that are up on the wall, 1991 was the first time our cheerleader squad had won the state championship. And so I feel there are pioneers out here, old pioneers out here. And since that time, 11 more squads have won the state title. So we're really proud of how the program's come along. I would like to introduce them at this time, and you will notice that they all are carrying a rose. And unfortunately, but with wonderful memories in our heart, we have lost one of our members during this time, from winning the championship till now, Corey Franklin. She was a very, very important part of our squad. There's 10 of them. She was the 10th, a very much missed 10th. And to honor her, we are each carrying a rose, and at this time when I call their names out, we're going to place it in a bouquet. And Corey's sister, Carrie, is here sitting in the back. And we would like to present them. It's just our way of saying thank you for sharing her with us. She'll always be with us, and we're so glad you're here tonight representing her. Our first person is Sasha Doran Woodward. Carrie Green Cunningham. Crystal Mark Hayward. And Lisa McKay is holding the vase. Or is the vase holding you? It's getting bigger. Good. Brandy Shawcross Steelhammer. Say that really fast 3 times. Heather Woods Rush. And we have had a few members not be able to attend. Heather's sister, Amber Woods, Besky, is not here. Amy Kirksbride lives in Arizona. It's a long ways to travel. She's also in the middle of planning her son's wedding. And Christy Witham is not with us. But these are the girls that make up this great team. At this time, if you'd like to present the flowers, I'm going to time you. I've had the opportunity and the privilege of coaching these girls through that terrific season. Now, 34 years later, here we are again together, celebrating our accomplishment. But much has happened to these athletes during those 34 years. Most of them were 16, 17, maybe 18 when this happened. If you take that 34 years, they've gone through 2 more lifetimes at Thurston High School as during that time. After graduating from Thurston High School, several of them continued on their education at the University of Oregon, Oregon State, Moorhead, Umpqua Community College, and did I forget Oregon State? Okay. Oh, Western, thank you, Western. And through that, some of them obtained their bachelor's degree, sometimes their master's degree. But right now they are teachers, nurses, dietitians, realtors, first aid responders, bank branch managers, personal trainers, and mental health coordinators. So they've taken their place in the community after leaving Thurston High School. They've all been married, and did I forget to mention they're all moms, which should be right there at the top of the list. Together, collectively, they have 26 children. Now that's exhausting just saying that number, but pretty much equal girls and boys, and I'm sure they'll be raised by great parents, have been raised by great parents, and you too will make your mark in the community like your mothers. These women also love to see the world. They've either worked, traveled, or lived in 21 of our states and 22 of our countries around the world. One of them spent 3 years in Puerto Rico, and one of them's been to Jamaica 18 times. I have to also say we have one of our members here who followed another cheerleading dream. And if any, raise your hand if you watched the Macy Days Parade that's in New York City on Thanksgiving before the football games, or it interferes with the football games. But she went ahead and went back there and cheered in the Macy Days Parade, which is wonderful. It's hard to believe that in their spare time they even have any spare time. But these are also people who take care of themselves. They love the outdoors, they river raft, they do paddleball, hike, camp, garden, walk the dog, support their kids as they do sports, involved in their church activities, and also one of my favorite things, pickleball. So this is really, really good. But I want you to know that these girls are examples of athletes here at Thurston High School who learn a lot by being a part of the team, by setting goals, by making the most of themselves and never stopping after they leave this school. And that's exactly what education is all about, preparing for them to take their place out there in the world. But now I'm going to talk about their accomplishment that we're celebrating. Winning a team championship doesn't just happen. It takes long hours, dedication of each member. They have to give up the I and the me and concentrate on the team. They set high goals, they sacrifice, there's a lot of pain, and yes, there's some setbacks that we learn from. Often what happens 2-3 years way before, feeder programs, going to summer camps, extra workouts, extra practices. But oh, the reward, and I want them to remember this. We're up in the gym. We've been practicing so hard. We're in a large gym for the state championships. And we've worked hard. We've performed our routine for the last time, really waiting in anticipation to hear what school is going to win the state championship. And so you wait, and pretty soon they call out the name. And the state champion for 1991 cheerleading is Thurston High School. Okay? It's wonderful. The applause starts, people cheer. We're looking at each other, totally amazed. Our hearts are thumping. The tears start flowing. They put the gold medal around your neck. You look at each other, smiles spread across your face, and you say, we did it. We did it together. You'll never forget that moment, and we shouldn't, because you really, really earned it. Tonight allows us to again relive that moment and thank our family, our friends, our teachers, our coaches, people we don't even know that were rooting for us. And also, we want to thank Thurston High School for giving us the opportunity to dream, work, achieve our goal of the state cheerleading title. And I'm so proud of them, and I'd like you to give a big round of applause. At this time, a couple of the gals have a few words to say. We're going to start with Wendy Shawtop.
My name is Brittany, and I was a senior captain along with Heather and Sasha. We want to thank the Hall of Fame committee for this honor and our friends and family who came tonight. Okay, can you guys hear me now? All right. As I prepared tonight what I was going to say, going back nearly 35 years, two things kept coming to my mind. First was how much fun we had. We really did have a great time together. And second was, I kept thinking about Mrs. Hawes and her leadership. Most of us were lucky enough to be in her program for multiple years because it was such a positive experience. Mrs. Hawes was a strong leader. who was brave enough to take on groups of teenage girls year after year. Not always an easy task. She knew how to harness our energy and talent, and she created a supportive environment that brought out the best in each of us. She led with a collaborative spirit, and while she had good ideas for choreography, stunts, and tumbling, the key was that she gave us room to create and choreograph. So all of us took responsibility and ownership of the goal to win a state championship, and we did it. So tonight, we thank you, Mrs. Haas, for everything. For everything. And lastly, to my teammates, thank you so much for all of the fun memories. This weekend has been really special to walk down memory lane. So, thank you.
Hi, I'm Carrie. I was one of the sophomores that year, and Mrs. Haas called me a few weeks ago and said, hey, we've got one of the seniors that's speaking. I would love a sophomore perspective. And I said, oh, Mrs. Haas, I'm really not an upfront kind of girl. Oh no, you'd be fine. It can be brief. You can call Amber, one of the other sophomores, and get her take. And so I agreed, and then I got off the phone and I realized after all those years, she's still coaching, and she just got me to take the mic. So I have to echo what Brandy said. Coach Haas is a class act, and she did spend so many years teaching young women to be excellent, to be responsible, but she did it in the most positive, upbeat way, as you just saw her tonight. That's how she treated us all the time, and you're an inspiration. So just a quick note, I would say for me, what stood out along with our coach's leadership was those 3 senior captains, and they modeled a really high work ethic. Those girls would hit our weight room and work out to build up their strength. They treated each other really well and treated us well. They just set a high bar. And I have a quick example of that. It was a few weeks before state. We were doing early morning practices before school because we needed our routine down. And we had one of our big full squat stunts that had two mirrored sides. One side was solid, that was Brandy and the other senior side, and they hit it every time. And I was on the other side, and we kept dropping Crystal. And I remember after a really frustrating practice, we sat down on the mat and we were having a serious conversation about whether or not to change that stunt. Because if you drop a stunt as state, you can't win state, you can't recover the points. So Brandy spoke up and said, you know what, I think maybe we're being unfair to our sophomores. I think maybe we're putting too much on them. And I remember thinking, I am not gonna let these girls down. That was huge motivation for me. And we got back to practice, we started hitting, we kept the stunt, and we hit it at state. But looking back, that was such a savvy thing for a high school girl to say, to navigate that balance between encouraging but also challenging. And I think that just epitomizes what kind of relationship that we all had and how a group of girls can come together that way. So I have loved getting to see them all again this weekend, and I thank also the committee for this honor and this opportunity.
This time we will be handing out the plaques. I'm going to do it alphabetically again. First is Sasha Dorn. Maybe. You want them to do that? Okay. We had lunch today all together, and we were talking about that long walk in the gym last night from the edge all the way down. None of us have practiced our parade waves or anything like that, so you're going to walk one more time across the stage, starting with Sasha Dorn. Yes, and then go off that side.
Come on, Sasha.
Thank you, Sasha. Sasha Dorn. Carrie I'll wait till you go by, all right? Lisa McKay, Heather, Brandy, Crystal, Carrie, whatchamacallit. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Nicely done, Bobby. All right, so Will and Eric, before I have you guys come up here, we have a little bit of a surprise. As you